Imagine walking through a storm. The path ahead blurred by rain, the ground shaking with thunder. Every step is uncertain, every direction feels wrong. You're lost with no one to guide you. Now, imagine a light in the distance, faint at first, but growing stronger. A light that doesn't flicker. A light that never fades. That light is faith. Today, you will hear the stories of those who faced their darkest moments, only to find strength where they least expected it. These are not just stories of survival, but of transformation. And before we begin, ask yourself, what if the struggle you're facing right now is leading you to something greater? Arjun had spent 15 years building his career. Late nights, sacrifices, missed birthdays, he had given everything to his work. But one day, it all fell apart. The company he had built his life around shut down. And just like that, his future felt like an empty page. Panic set in. How would he provide for his family? What had all those years of hard work been for? Sleepless nights turned into hopeless mornings. He sent out applications, but rejection after rejection crushed his spirit. One evening, feeling completely defeated, he sat in silence and did something he hadn't done in years. He prayed. Not for a miracle, not for answers, but simply for strength. Slowly, something changed. Instead of fear, a quiet peace settled in. Instead of doubt, a new thought emerged. What if this wasn't the end, but the beginning? With renewed faith, Arjun took a different path. He started a small business, something he had always dreamed of but never dared to pursue. It was slow at first, but each step felt guided. Months later, his business flourished beyond what he imagined. Arjun's story reminds us that sometimes, losing everything is what it takes to find our true purpose. Neera had always been surrounded by people, friends, colleagues, family, but after moving to a new city, she felt completely alone. No familiar faces, no one to talk to. Every day, the silence grew heavier. She tried to distract herself, social media, long walks, books, but nothing filled the emptiness. The more she searched for connection, the lonelier she felt. One evening, exhausted, she closed her eyes and whispered a simple prayer. If you're there, show me I'm not alone. Days passed, and then something unexpected happened. She met a kind stranger at a bookstore, who invited her to a small community gathering. She hesitated at first, but something told her to go. That night, surrounded by warmth and laughter, she felt something shift. It wasn't just about meeting people, it was about realizing she was never truly alone. Faith didn't erase Neera's loneliness overnight, but it opened a door she never knew existed. Rohan had been carrying a wound for years of betrayal by someone he trusted. The anger consumed him, turning into resentment that seeped into every part of his life. He told himself he had moved on, but the truth was, the bitterness never left. It showed in his words, his relationships, his sleepless nights. One day, he heard something that struck him deeply. Forgiveness is not about setting them free. It's about setting yourself free. That night, he made a decision not for the person who wronged him, but for himself. He chose to let go. It wasn't easy. It took time. But with each step, he felt the weight lifting. For the first time in years, he felt free. Rohan's story teaches us that faith isn't just about believing in something greater, it's about trusting that healing is possible, even when it seems impossible. Each of these stories started with pain, but ended with transformation. And now, I ask you, what storm are you facing today? What fear is holding you back? Faith doesn't promise an easy road. It doesn't erase hardships. but it does offer something greater light to guide you through the darkness. So the question is, will you take the first step? If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more inspiring stories. And remember, sometimes the hardest moments are the ones that lead us exactly where we're meant to be.